Wow, that looks good.
Game on.
He has had injury problems over the last few years of his playing career, but it's fair to say that we haven't seen much of him in a decade.
60.
Does a lot of work in the Dutch media. Roland Scholten, you rarely see him in exhibition, but look at that for a good guider for the first start. Such a straight action.
100.
A straight, no-nonsense turn. And you know what you're going to get from Terry Jenkins. An aggressive performance, a passionate performance. There'll be a lot of emotion, but this promises to be
140.
one of the ties of the round. I like the look of this draw when it came out, and hopefully it won't disappoint.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Mark, because just when you think
41.
Terry Jenkins' career is over, he gets a chance at redemption. All of those near misses, but he's still in touch. He hasn't played as competitively as some other somewhat
60.
retired players, or players who don't play as much anymore. But the fact of the matter is, he can still throw, and when he's motivated, he can play at a high level, and he's going to have to today.
41.
Played exhibition with Terry the week. He played Darryl Gurney actually, so that's not a bad little practice match, is it? Darryl ultimately won, but there's some good darts in that match with Terry Jenkins, and
140.
okay here.
We've actually played each other 12 times in the past, and it's 6-all. So this is the tiebreaker in their head-to-head record.
93.
Last meeting went the way of Roland Scholten in Crondon Park. Very contrasting atmosphere to what they're playing in here. Such a great event that was. We had played that a few times, Paul, in a great way for players to get the match practice, competitive practice against the world's best.
TJ is going to come back for double 18.
123.
Under a smidgen of pressure
36.
from the very tall Scholten. 218's no problem for TJ. Starts with a nice hold.
Playing like Roland to throw fast. Game on.
That is very tidy from him. 16 darts, and he's already smiling.
Yeah, we said about Roland Scholten, we don't know how much darts he's played, but Terry still playing a lot of exhibitions. Well, obviously hasn't during the pandemic, but he said he's getting back out there. Still enjoys a throw, but doesn't enjoy the pressure, doesn't miss the pressure, I should say, of the vigorous PDC circuit.
Yeah, that's the thing about some of these players, isn't it? I was talking to
60.
some other ex-pros over the last few weeks in the lead-up to this tournament, and I was reminded of a phrase from former NFL head coach Bill Cowher, who said,
100.
I don't miss the pressure, but I miss the game. And I think with some of these players, they don't miss the full rigours of the tour, but they do miss the camaraderie
55.
and the buzz of the stage, and this is giving them a sample of that.
Yes, they can play darts on their terms now, isn't it? You play on a circuit like the PDCs, you are dictated by the calendar, you have to play or you get left behind, whereas now they can be very selective when they play. And Terry starting well. Terry Jenkins left the circuit on his own terms. Last World Championship appearance was in 2017. He lost to another Dutchman on that occasion, Benito van der Pas, in a deciding set. And from there, Terry just sort of wound down, Paul, didn't he? Stopped playing and eventually came to a point where he just lost his tour card, and it was his choice. And says he doesn't regret it. Enjoying life.
He's got plenty of things to do. Here's a man who would find work in an elevator when he's on his own.
141.
Find something to sell.
4-1. Treble 19. What a shot this to be from Terry. Oh, and lucky great effort from Terry Jenkins, but a bright start from the bull.
Now, Roland Scholten has been reminded of the quality of Terry Jenkins early here. He needs to get a move on.
66.
Can't afford to be missing 24. The single 20s after getting a treble with the start, because look at what Terry Jenkins is doing.
Terry Jenkins.
2 16 darters to start this one off. Break a throw in the bank, and now throwing for set 1.
Yeah, it's a bright start from Terry. I'm not surprised this level of performance from Terry Jenkins. like I said, he never left the tour because his form
43.
deteriorated. He left because he stopped playing.
Look at their careers. They've played in a lot of World Championships, these guys. And in fact, Roland has made the semi-finals
44.
of the BDO World Championship back in 1998, but the quarter-finals was his best effort in the PDC back in 01 and 03, but that's similar to Terry Jenkins,
43.
who only made one semi-final in his 13 World Championships, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that was in 2011. He was well beaten by Gary Anderson. Roland Scholten semi-final. He lost out to Richie Burnett in 1998, and that could have set up an all-Dutch final with Raymond van Barneveld. But it wasn't to be. But did get that elusive major title win in the UK Open. Roland Scholten beat John Part in the final. John Part joins us tomorrow.
I'm really looking forward to seeing John. Can he split the difference, Roland? Beautifully executed. Still got it, Roland. Still got it.
Terry thought he was just going to cruise this opening set.
100.
Think again. Roland Scholten wrestling the darts away.
There's a bit of a canyon between the averages here. Something in the region of 20 points. But it's not about averages. It's about that leg score in this first set and subsequently the set score. This is a much better scoring performance from the tripod.
Scholten's last
22.
championship was in 2012.
Roland 82.
Lost to Wayne Jones in the second round. Beat Jamie Caven in the first round. It was the first match of the tournament that year. I haven't seen Roland since on the big stage.
And some players who walk away from the game and go into the media side still live vicariously through other players and get that buzz from commentary.
59. Roland
He's always been quite an analytical player, Roland. Can he analyse this one on double five to break straight back? No pressure here.
Game
He
shot on the
takes it
third
without
leg.
pressure.
Roland Scholten.
So if he can hold in the next leg,
Roland to
set on.
first.
Yeah, credit
Game
to him
on.
there, because it was Terry Jenkins, similar to Larry Butler's performance, just come up the blocks. But Roland Scholten regrouped, found his first max of the match, and importantly, breaks throw. He's always thrown that style of dart as well, Roland Scholten. He's never been one to tweak too much, has he?
He's not really a tinkerer like, say, Simon Whitlock or Peter Wright. They're probably the most
59.
mad of scientists when it comes to tungsten. Phil Taylor's always been a bit of a tinkerer. I'll be really fascinated to see what he throws a little bit later tonight against Peter Manley.
45.
Renewed rivalries with one dart.
So come on, Mark, I've got to put you on the spot. If you were in the seniors in, say, 15 years,
140.
and you were put up against a rival in the first round, who would be your rival in round one? You can't say Glenn Moody.
Hopefully Paul Lim's still hanging around so I can have some chance of revenge.
I think Paul Lim would be about 80.
He'll still be here, won't he? Yeah, there's already
85.
masters in place as well. So a bit more darts for these gentlemen to play this year.
Yeah, more iconic venues like the Lakeside for the senior masters. Stay tuned for more information about that.
11.
A visit to forget for Roland. Can't afford to do that with Terry in front. And look what Terry does. Foot on the throat. Throwing on the fly.
100.
Still looks to have that stage swagger there. Wasn't stopping to ask the referee, then resetting himself. He was happy to ask and stay within rhythm. That shows a bit of stage and
30.
game sharpness.
117.
That's 117 for the first set.
And he's going to get a dart, Terry, under no pressure to wrap up this opening set. And he does wrap up the opening set. A bit of a blip in the third leg from Terry Jenkins, but he regroups and deserves that opening set. A convincing display from Terry Jenkins. He leads the Dutchman by a set to 0.
Of all of the players in this draw, aside from maybe
80.
Phil Taylor, who yesterday said something rather favourable about the new trophy because he really wanted to get his fingerprints on it. I think Terry Jenkins, who likes an ornament or two,
81.
will have had a chat with his good pal Philip Serrell from Bargain Hunt and said, how much do you think that's going to be worth in about 50 years if I get my hands on it and keep it? Loves an ornament or a trinket, does Terry.
Doesn't love a trophy though, does he? Well, a runners-up one.
That's very fair to say, unfortunately.
Sorry, Terry, but credit to
140.
him. Always knocking on the door. Just ran out of steam in all those finals, really, didn't he? He was well beaten.
He always came up against someone who was having their moment.
85.
You talk about the European Championship that he lost to Adrian Lewis. Adrian was insatiable in that event.
James Wade, when he won the World Match Play in 2007,
64.
dismantled Terry Jenkins in the final. He lost, I think, 18-4 to Phil Taylor in the World Match Play final. Always put himself in that position, but just couldn't find himself.
100.
Get himself over the winner's line, but won't take the gloss of what was an exceptional career for Terry Jenkins.
Yeah, we often talk about the near misses for Terry, but he did bag 11 PDC titles.
139.
That's a great haul, and much better than Roland's 5.
Roland has
47.
TV
Terry
title
requires
in the UK
76.
Open.
Back to tops for a 76 checkout.
56.
Narrow miss
Roland, you
to offer
require
Scholten
92.
options for this hold of throw on 92. He's going to go 60. Oh, how beautiful is that for double 16?
60.
That one shot out of the cannon.
Terry requires
Didn't like that
20.
whatsoever. And Terry is looking to take advantage.
Yeah, it was a flyer, that one from Roland Scholten. Terry stuttering.
10.
Doesn't
Roland, you require 32.
find the double 5. More opportunities for Roland.
He's very tall, like we mentioned, throwing down to double 16. Still has plenty of room to the right-hand side of those two.
No score. Terry
Not able to
requires
find
10.
it. So Terry Jenkins, who gets these darts to land very flat, has got to be quite aggressive here.
One for double 2. Oh, it's treble 1 for double 1.
Game
Gets
shot
there
on
in
the
the end,
first
Terry Jenkins.
Terry Jenkins. Second leg is Terry to throw
Of
first.
set 2, a breaker
Game on.
throw there. Roland be disappointed. He had 5 darts. That doubles to take the opening leg and just give himself something to work with, hold a throw, but it's
83.
Terry Jenkins who finds himself well and truly in control of this final first round match of the afternoon session today.
Yeah, it's all second round action coming up later.
45.
The person waiting for the winner of this one is none other than one of the greatest female players of all time, in Lisa Ashton, the 4-time ladies world champion.
140.
And whoever comes through this, that is going to be a great game of darts.
It'll be a toughie.
83.
Ashton back on the stage. Looked edgy at the World Championship, and hopefully she'll come up there and play fairly relaxed.
She played pretty well at
60.
Q School, averaging around 87. And I think she was suffering from a minor injury at Alexandra Palace, which didn't help her preparation. But she has a bit of freedom with
100.
her schedule over the next 12 months. I wonder what she's going to do. First port of call, of course, is here.
And that match is tomorrow. The lineup for that second round action, like you said, Paul, Kevin Painter, Wayne Warren, the local boy Richie Howson taking on Martin Adams. Rivalries renewed. Phil Taylor taking on Phil Taylor taking on Peter Manley.
Terry require 190.
People's favourite for the event, Robert Thornton, finishing off the evening against Trina Gulliver.
Terry's got treble 10 here. Didn't have to go the 12 in bull route because of Roland's 173 position. Looks like it's 44 left. Should go 4 for tops here. He's more of a tops merchant than a double 16 guy. And he is taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Sitting on tops with Roland, putting on a tiny bit of pressure. Not a great deal.
Oh, Terry Jenkins is dictating at the minute. This is for a 5th leg of 6 played so far.
No score. Roland, you require 73.
No chance for Roland, but he had chance in the opening leg. And left his lines, and that's not helping him. Neither's that.
69. Terry
Well, that's
40.
a leave of double 2. It shouldn't matter. Double 10.
20.
And this is a bit
Roland,
messy
you
from Terry
require
Jenkins
4.
to offer Scholten a shot at double 2 to get himself into the second set.
Will Roland be regretting not hitting just a single 18?
No score.
Maybe.
Terry, you require 20.
He intentionally left double 2, but never easy coming down the board. Especially the way Roland's darts it. And Terry Jenkins eventually gets that leg on the board, doubles his lead in set 2. More woes on the doubles for Roland Scholten. And could in a few moments time find himself trailing by 2-0.
Not many fixtures that we have here at the World Seniors Darts Championship that have been seen in the Premier League, of course. These guys have played each other in the 2007 campaign on a couple of occasions.
100.
Back in February and March of that year, and both went the way of Terry Jenkins. By the same result, in fact, 8 legs to 6.
Roland Scholten in the first ever Premier League
60.
had Phil Taylor in all sorts of bother in the semi-finals. Led 11-7. And Taylor rattled off legs and then dismantled Colin Lloyd in the final.
140.
Scholten has been in a final in the Premier League, beating Raymond van Barneveld. Again, ran out of steam. But a big part of the early stage of the Premier League was the tripod.
Yeah, that period between around 2001, 2002 towards
140.
the middle portion of that decade, he was a force to be reckoned with, that is for sure. Terry Jenkins for this second set needs 121. That leaves 96. He is tidily positioned, and you don't think that Roland's going to take the 164 based on what we've seen so far.
164.
No, it would be a real shock. And just drifting. I thought he may have gone for a couple of treble 19s, but Terry Jenkins should get 2 darts to rattle through set 2 and go 1 away from a place in the second round.
132. Terry require 56.
Great setup, but Terry Jenkins is in familiar territory. And it's a territory that he bulldozes to give himself a 2-0 lead. It's a completely smooth barrel. In fact, it's got the tiniest of micro grip on it. And if you have a certain texture of fingertips or hands, they could be very grippy indeed. Grippy enough from TJ, who does the bull, and everybody loves that.
Terry's enjoying himself, isn't he?
50.
In a funny sort of way, he's playing like there's no pressure on him. But what a story it would be for him if he could win 99. This tournament.
Well, he did say to me he was looking forward to it. He was fairly relaxed about the situation and wouldn't overkill the practice. He'll just throw when
60.
he wants to.
And
he's playing relaxed. He can play better than this, Terry. Average around 81, but it's more than enough, and he's dealing with the threat of Roland Scholten really comfortably so far.
90.
You and I both know, Mark, that when you play a first round of a tournament, there's going to be a few errant darts, there's going to be a bit of nerves. And if he comes through this challenge without any stress, you know for a fact he's going to play better against Lisa Ashton.
10.
Oh, those there, these are awkward. Terry just shuffling to the right. Good adjustment from Terry Jenkins, and now finds himself 2 legs away from that clash with Lisa Ashton.
That's one of the best darts we've seen over the last couple of sessions.
121.
Both of those darts in the way. There's a Rob Cross fan in the crowd. Haven't seen any Terry Jenkins shirts yet.
82.
Could be more coming later in the tournament if he keeps doing what he's doing.
He'll have him on the merchandise stand.
85.
Loves the coin. Terry Jenkins.
Yeah, he's a very astute businessman. I remember going to his house
123.
in Ledbury once to pick up a bar stool that he bought for me. It was a tractor seat bar stool. It had been converted by a local blacksmith. He said, "Do you want to buy it?" And I said yes. And Roland says yes.
Typical Terry Jenkins, though, isn't it? Makes you come and pick it up. Won't pay the postage.
140. Roll your car.
Barely fitting me car.
115.
Ooh, feisty. I'm interested in the second dart, Mark, because he's got 90 left and he went 60 for double 15.
Yeah, we saw Joe Cullen do it that way. You hit the ball and sometimes you go 15 balls to the 25. It's just to hit but he hit the 25 and normally
Rolling your car.
confused with that one, but Scholten now, this is where he's got a bit more clinical. That's better. Can he do a long way down for him for double 3? That's a good dart for Roland Scholten, particularly when you've missed so many on the outer ring. You don't want to be leaving double 3, but like I said, what he needed to do was find something to work with in this set, and he's got that hold of throw, one leg apiece in set 3.
You got a little snapshot there when he retrieved his darts from the board as to how far down he throws towards double 3. We're talking about an individual here who towers above the treble 20 height-wise. And just to give you an indication for anybody who doesn't watch a lot of darts who's tuning in, the bullseye stands at 5 foot 8 inches to the centre of the bullseye from the floor. And
60.
Roland Scholten towers above the treble 20 and the double top when he's standing next to the board.
Got to find the break, Roland.
58.
No panic from TJ, who has his good friend Alan with him here this week.
60.
Planning to be here till the end of Sunday, because we do have more action tonight, all day Saturday, and of course the champion will be crowned on Sunday. So get the tea bags at the ready and settle in for a great weekend worth of action.
He said Roland needed a break of throw. Is this where he makes his move?
41.
Well, as good as got the darts here now.
Interesting that he did not switch after that first dart.
60.
Can he see above that dart because of his height? I'm not so sure. I think the switch was probably the prudent play. But Jenkins is starting to spray them a little bit. And is this a
35.
sign, Mark, that he hasn't played a lot of long format darts in quite a few seasons?
Well, maybe just thinking about the finishing line. We saw Davy Prinz sort of wobble a little bit, but ultimately it was too good for Paul and found the way through. And Terry Jenkins knows he's been the better player, just needs to regroup. But his throw under threat here now.
135.
Splendid recovery there after the treble 5 with the first dart. Applause from the crowd. Well warranted. Oh, he's got it. Double 7. Oh, he's busted a lot. That's music to the ears of Terry Jenkins, who can't wait to get to the board.
Well, how important will it if Terry misses? And he has. Roland's got to do it all again. Mind you saying that. Would he wanted to return with 3 at double 7? Horrible double.
Let's find out. Double 7 again. And this time he finds it. And look how close it was to double 16. Not at all. But it is a dicey double because it's an odd number and you've got greater numbers left and right.
Yeah, credit to Roland there when you bust your score and you know the perilous position he was in. But he now throws for the third set. And that's some start.
Which game's piquing your interest in round 2 the most, Mark? Just looking at the draw here, obviously Taylor Manley, but are there any others that really jump off the page for you?
Well, I like the House and Adams game
123
because of the home support Howson will get. I like the Painter Warren game as well. It's setting up nicely, and Whoever comes through this against Lisa Ashton, it's a great lineup throughout that second round, and looking forward to it getting underway.
I'm fascinated by Larry Butler against Keith Deller now because of the way that Larry played today. Good stuff from CJ. Gets himself down to the halfway point in this leg. Scholten has to join him. We may be staring at a one-leg shootout to stay in the tournament.
85.
Yeah, Terry quickly regrouping here. Missed a dart for 2-1. Would have been
45.
one leg away from the match here, but that's a slip.
When you're sitting on 208, you're thinking maximum to leave double 14. When you're playing
100.
well and confident. What would he be happy with here? Maybe leaving 68 with a 140?
I think a 10 paramount, isn't it? Because at least you've got the treble and single. Yeah,
100.
Definitely a 10 after those first two. He's down to a finish.
Likewise for Roland, who wants to leave something in 2-dart range here. That's a wild one.
85.
And it's not 2-dart range. 101 can be done in 2, of course. You'd have to feel ultra confident to go treble 17 in bull. 108 for TJ. It's tops for 2-2. Oh, it's beautiful from Terry Jenkins. And now he has the chance to finish the whole thing on his own throw right now.
And you could see the frustration. Obviously, great shot of Terry Jenkins' 108 finish, but you could see the frustration from Roland Scholten. He'd done the hard work, got the break. He hit a treble 20 on his first dart of that leg and hit 2 5s. He hit a treble 20 in his last visit in that leg and hit a 5. He's just been a bit wild, a bit inconsistent, and ultimately it looks like it's going to cost him. Terry Jenkins 1 leg away, and he's kicked off with a 140.
85.
And when your opponent does kick off with a 140, you've got to follow. The 85 doesn't cut it. You mentioned at the start of this match, Mark, that Terry Jenkins is an aggressive player. He's showing it right here. He wants to get this done with no doubt.
100.
It's good darts from Roland. It's just not as good as Terry Jenkins right now.
Yeah, it's a good last one, but Terry eager to get the job done. 2 treble visits takes him down to potentially an 11-dart leg. We've already seen an 11-darter today. Davy Prince. Oh, we're going to see another one.
36.
If he gets to 60, I would not be surprised to see him split it. Let's find out. What's he going to do? Straight for it. And that's why the split option was live.
80.
Why has he left double 9, Mark? Tell me that.
I don't think he thought he was leaving double 8, didn't he? But Terry, you've got time in your hands. Double's a double.
I think he's going to split this one.
He'll go straight for it. Get the job done.
60.
Well,
18.
as we say in darts, Terry, you left it. You haven't hit it, but you have a match dart at double 4.
40.
You will be back for double 2.
Yeah, but double 2. 10 for Scholten. Just been too patchy from Roland. There's been some
81.
Yeah, there we see. There's been a lot of treble 20s, but accompanied by 1s and 5s. But Terry to finish the job, and Terry Jenkins does finish the job. 3 straight